I went to this bizarre party once in the Hollywood Hills with Chappelle. It's wild. It's like a total eyes wide shut party. I said to Dave, I'm like, this is crazy. This is so bizarre. He goes, man, I never want to be that famous.
They wanted me to prick my blood to get into the party. I don't even celebrate Halloween, but like, I just didn't know certain things I know now. Let me just say it like that.
So many have used these as a scaffolding for morals and ethics and for societies.
As October kicks off, Hollywood's finest are getting ready to unleash their creativity for Halloween costumes. They're not just throwing parties, they're putting on epic spectacles, from channeling eerie vibes to bringing iconic characters to life. But as the spooky season draws near, there are whispers about some rather mysterious rituals at Hollywood Halloween parties. And this notion is further supported by Joe Rogan.
I went to this bizarre party once in the Hollywood Hills with Chappelle. Dave's like, you want to go to this party with me? It's Naomi Campbell's birthday. And hate those things. Like, oh, Joe, come on.
Joe Rogan is a household name for MMA enthusiasts. With over a decade of experience as the UFC's color commentator, he's a seasoned pro. But Joe's talents don't stop there. He's a comedian with a solid track record and a former TV host. Comedy is his domain too, with a massive following. His podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, has millions of loyal listeners and even snagged the top spot on Spotify's top podcasts list. With this kind of background, there's no wonder he knows so much. Who can tell what he must have seen?
I wanted the podcast to be audio only, and my manager was like, think about the Elon Musk moment when Elon Musk is smoking weed.
It's huge.
That is a viral moment.
During an episode of JRE, Joe Rogan had a friendly reunion with his longtime pal and former JRE producer, Brian Redban. These old buddies shared stories and traded tales of their adventures. Joe dove into the topic of how Los Angeles is like no other place in the entire U.S., and he even regaled the audience with his experiences at a birthday bash thrown by the famous model and actress, Naomi Campbell. For those who don't know, Naomi Campbell also made headlines for her relationship with Iron Mike Tyson. According to Rogan, that party was nothing short of bizarre.
I went to this bizarre party once in the Hollywood Hills with Chappelle. Dave's like, you want to go to this party with me? It's Naomi Campbell's birthday. And hate those things. Like, oh, Joe, come on.
Rogan started off describing his experience of LA, stating, living your life in LA can be really bad for the psycho. There's no weather, everyone's trying to get famous, and you're also dealing with these strange people. He then shifted to describing the bizarre party he had been to as an example of the crazy things around LA. The former martial artist stated, I went to this bizarre party once in the Hollywood Hills with Chappelle. Rogan also described how he ended up at the party, recalling that they were hanging out at the store, they did sets, and Dave was like, wanna go to this party with me? I said, what is it? He said, it's Naomi Campbell's birthday. The former Fear Factor host revealed that at first he wasn't too keen on the idea, but Chappelle persisted and eventually convinced him to go. Rogan began to paint a picture of the extravagant party, saying that they made their way to this party and they found themselves in an elevator with Demi Moore heading up the side of this hill. It's this outdoor elevator, you stand on it, and it takes you up. He also mentioned that the party was bustling with other well-known guests, including Demi Moore and Lenny Kravitz.
High as fuck. We get on an elevator with Demi Moore. Demi Moore is there, and Lenny Kravitz is there, and Naomi Campbell. And Naomi Campbell is posing, and there's like hundreds of photographers.
Rogan went on to disclose some more party details, recounting Naomi Campbell was striking poses, and there were like 10 photographers around her, constantly flashing those bright lights to capture her photos. He even came up with a fitting name for the extravagant event, drawing inspiration from Tom Cruise's famous movie, saying, it felt like a complete eyes wide shut party. Rogan was probably a bit uncomfortable under those circumstances. He quoted his own words, which he had spoken to Chappelle. Dave, this is just crazy. This is bizarre. He also stated Chappelle's hilarious reply, stating, man, I never want to be that famous. Rogan giggled while stating his next words. He stated his own reply to Chappelle saying, hey, MF, you are the most famous person here. Joe also revealed that he had to console Chappelle about being the most famous person at the party since he didn't want to believe it. Well, Joe might be awkward to spill the whole truth, but many evidence suggests that Hollywood's parties may be nothing but satanic rituals. To understand this, Tyrese Gibson has recently voiced concerns about what he describes as satanic pee in the entertainment industry. He's claimed that even some of the industry's most beloved personalities are involved in efforts to normalize evil.
Because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to populate. The devil is on the main stage at award shows and in every video and signs and symbols.
The 1995 mystery film The Usual Suspects added a modern twist to a sinister saying originally attributed to French poet Charles Baudelaire. As depicted in the film, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he did not exist. Since then, the media industry has undergone a transformation in its strategies. Rather than denying the existence of Satan, some forms of media now openly celebrate and glorify Lucifer.
Because they are trying to normalize the devil. They are trying to populate.
In the past, some entertainers have raised concerns about the presence of dark influences within our cultural institutions. However, in a video interview from May, musician and actor Tyrese Gibson passionately expressed his views about Hollywood's apparent fixation on Satan. Despite the perceived influence of evil in Hollywood, Tyrese emphasized that he personally remained steadfast in his beliefs, with a strong reliance on God playing a significant role in every aspect of his life. Tyrese said, "What I will say to anybody who is in it, you may not have your traumas play out on public display, but invite God in. God sometimes needs permission to get in," he explained. "There is no handsome, there is no relationship, there is no joke, there is no charm, no charisma, there is no resume that could have took me out of it. The Lord Jesus Christ gets all the credit for what he did." It's evident that Tyrese is a firm believer in God. After sharing his personal experiences and how God has played a crucial role in his life, he then addressed the moral decline he sees in Hollywood. The current state of the entertainment industry can be succinctly described as
believers, we should go the rest of our life trying to figure out God. That should be an everlasting hunt.
Earlier this year, the non-binary singer-songwriter Sam Smith took the Grammy stage by storm. They delivered a performance of their song Unholy while rocking a red devil-horned top hat and a sleek latex outfit. The performance oozed with popular occult and gothic vibes, but it also stirred up a storm of criticism for what some saw as the promotion of satanic imagery.
Girl, she got married to a boy like you.
Conspiracy theorists went all in, claiming that this performance was no ordinary show, but a full-blown Hollywood elite satanic ritual. Their supposed goal? To pull off some kind of moral switcheroo on society by brainwashing and luring in the younger generation. It wasn't long ago that another online uproar had folks in a frenzy, with claims that the fashion brand Balenciaga was secretly tied to CT and Satanic Ritual A.
This is everything you need to know about the Balenciaga kiddie porn campaign. Images of kids holding bears wearing BDSM clothing.
This frenzy followed a campaign by Balenciaga that raised eyebrows, featuring images of children holding teddy bear bags seemingly decked out in some rather risque fetish wear. These incidents are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to satanic conspiracy theories. They join a list that includes the 2014 Hampstead hoax, a case of false claims about a satanic pee ring operating in a North London school, and the notorious QAnon movement, where believers are convinced that Satan-worshipping elites are on a mission to seize control of society. Other examples include famous TV hosts' hypocrisy and evilness, according to Tyrese. During the discussion with Big Boy's Neighborhood, Gibson suggested that one method to combat the growing gloom was to publicly acknowledge the positive impact that Jesus has had on one's life. Tyrese said, "We need to stop treating our relationship with Jesus like the little buddy that you talk to before you go to bed at night, and not be more vocal about all the things that God means to us and all of the things that God has brought us through. Because there's been a lot of moments that you didn't post about, but yet, you know, how did God decide to get me through this?" Tyrese also disclosed that people and the general public think that Hollywood is a place with the loveliest people like Winfrey, but the truth is something else. Tyrese said that their true faces are too devilish to tolerate, and once you get to know how much they are evil, you might loathe them forever. Tyrese didn't hold back when he shared his perspective, revealing that while the public often views Hollywood as a haven of the nicest folks, like Oprah Winfrey, the reality can be quite different. He suggested that beneath their public personas, some of these individuals might have darker sides that are hard to bear, and once you glimpse their true nature, you could find it difficult to ever look at them the same way again.
He's going above and beyond to promote the devil, and it's pissing me off.
Many have inferred that Tyrese might be alluding to Oprah Winfrey, particularly given her recent notoriety for certain actions in the industry. Tyrese highlighted how individuals like Oprah, who may appear pleasant on the surface, can freely navigate the industry while concealing potentially unsavory behavior. Tyrese said, "Devil worshippers used to be real secretive, like going down in the basement, this secret world." This line seems to align with Oprah Winfrey's controversial track record. Throughout her career, Oprah has been entangled in various controversies, including allegations of launching smear campaigns against critics and undermining their careers. There have even been more serious accusations, suggesting her involvement in HT.
Oprah legitimized the notorious criminal Joe Teixeira, aka John of God, as a miraculous faith healer, one who could cure cancer.
Hollywood is truly a realm of mystery, much like a magician's hat, brimming with its quirks and hidden treasures. From the dazzling parties to the occasional scandals that make headlines, not to mention the crafty efforts to keep certain movies shrouded in secrecy, it's evident that the entertainment industry holds more enigmas than a treasure map. And navigating the delicate dance of artist management, well, that's akin to herding cattle in the glitzy world of Hollywood.
A Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and apologize, right? But
Hollywood knows how to throw a Halloween party like no other. Take last year, for instance, when Kim Kardashian completely transformed herself into a sultry X-Men character. The reality TV sensation pulled out all the stops, going full-on Mystique, the iconic blue character from the Marvel Comics superhero universe. Her fans and followers of her Skims brand couldn't help but shower her with praise for what they deemed their favorite Halloween look of the year.
All right, I wanted to show you guys my Halloween decorations for this year. I decided to do a skeleton theme.
Back in 2018, the once inseparable duo, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, raised the Halloween bar by going all out as Gomez and Morticia Addams. Their dedication to the characters was impressive, right down to the matching props, a bouquet of red roses and thing perched on Jonas's shoulder. While they initially received praise for their costumes, when people uncovered the backstory of their outfits, some concluded that Hollywood's Halloween parties might be seen as something more sinister, perhaps even connected to satanic practices. Social media influencer, entrepreneur, winemaker, and author Josh Ostrovsky, who goes by the moniker The Fat Jew, supposedly had a rather chilling encounter with Diddy and his friends. Josh resides in the United States and is well known for his online presence.
A lot of people felt one way and a lot of people felt the other way. I sort of got kind of placed into the middle, was like the face of the issue. And I was like, the internet is for yelling and screaming.
Josh found himself in hot water when he claimed to have exposed Diddy for his questionable actions. Understandably, netizens were quick to criticize Josh, given Diddy's long-standing reputation as a public figure. The story began when Josh attended a party on Star Island in Miami, coincidentally the site of P. Diddy's private mansion. He was in the company of a renowned house music producer who was the DJ for the event. And what did Josh witness at this shindig?
Basically me and beautiful ethnic models, just beautiful women who I obviously had no interest in because
One might think that if the party was attended exclusively by beautiful models, there should be nothing amiss with the gathering.
My man is telling me that every third person is some executive, got behind the scenes guys who I don't recognize.
It does indeed seem suspicious, and Josh might have been wary of being wrongfully recorded in such a setting. Furthermore, it's quite odd for a party to exclusively feature women without any men. After that, Josh's quest for the bathroom led him to venture down one flight of stairs, inadvertently immersing himself in the labyrinthine hallways of the mansion.
One's a room, it doesn't have a bathroom in it, whatever. Every room should have a bathroom in it.
That makes sense.
First of all,
if you're in this dungeon, every house should have.
So I open a door, and in that room, there are a of men.
Two things likely raised red flags for him at this point: the absence of bathrooms in the rooms and the presence of men in those rooms. But there was more to come. The way these men were lounging around struck him as rather unusual.
And they're all kind of very Romanesque, laying about and, kind of very kind of leaning on each other. Not really spooning, but conversationally spooning.
It's a fair observation. Typically, when two people are lying close together as if they're spooning, it's often a sign of a romantic relationship. But seeing two men in such a position, appearing to be romantically involved, did strike Josh as rather peculiar.
Yeah, it would almost be the prelude to
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh
Okay.
my God. It was so prelude. Okay.
That whole scenario could have been enough for Josh to clear all doubts that Diddy put on a show to invite beautiful women so that no one could find what was actually happening behind that pool packed with women. But Josh did not sit back silently and even disclosed apparently that Diddy's after parties and parties are no less than anxiety because when you leave those parties, the scenes haunt you for your life. He said, pretty much everything. I've got a plethora of problems. Aren't we all, at this point, suffering from raging anxiety? The experiences we do are what people wish they could do, like riding around in a convertible with a llama in New York. After this, Jamie Foxx, despite not having a history of scandalous behavior, had a knack for staying in the headlines. He made quite the splash recently when he boldly revealed the infamous Hollywood parties of P. Diddy. A video of Jamie discussing these parties went viral on the internet and landed him in hot water with his long-term acquaintance. In the video, Jamie asserted that he had documented these parties, particularly highlighting one wild pool party in Beverly Hills where he claimed that all sorts of bizarre happenings took place.
I would show up to the party in my little town car. This town, you know, I grabbed me a town car so I could skirt.
Being a relative newcomer to the entertainment world, Jamie aimed to break into the music scene by attending and hosting parties, hoping to make valuable connections. At Diddy's party in Beverly Hills, he adopted the guise of a cinematographer and approached Diddy with a request to film the event. To his surprise, Diddy gave his consent.
You spent $1.5 million on this party? I said, you come to my house, I'll throw you a party for $400.
However, Jamie's experience at that party appeared to be eerie indeed. Furthermore, there's a troubling concept in Hollywood that child stars are sometimes invited to these parties with questionable intentions. One such case involved Usher, where he and Diddy reportedly shared a bed when Usher was just 15, while Diddy was in his late 20s. Regardless of how it's presented, there's hardly a scenario where an adult Diddy sharing a bed with an adolescent Usher can be considered normal or acceptable.
Day one, we used to wake up and pause, but like just back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the...
Usher also admitted that he and Diddy went to SO when Usher was 15 years old, which is what we all know is against the law in the United States and in many other countries as well. Diddy even pushed D and booze on Usher while he was just a teenager. Usher emphatically denied that he would never send his children to a school like Diddy's.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
What's even more astonishing is that Usher's parents had absolutely no clue about the roller coaster their child was riding.
And your parents were Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this.
Even when it comes to celebrities hosting parties in their quirky homes, things can take a pretty unusual turn. This peculiar incident would have remained under wraps if not for Jamie's neighbors, who spilled the beans. Imagine this. The police show up at Jamie's place because the neighbors reported a raucous basketball game happening on Foxx's property. Now, it's not about the noise or an errant basketball landing in their backyard. It's about the players being in their birthday suits during the game. Essence interviewed one of his neighbors. Essence asked, "Are you sure?" Then the neighbor replied, "In basketball, I'm telling you the man's crazy." Moreover, in his most recent outburst, the one and only Kanye West has taken things up a notch. He's delving deep into the bizarre world of Hollywood conspiracy theories in a video clip that's turning heads. What's truly startling is that he brings up his own mother while passionately affirming his belief in these peculiar occurrences.
My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah, I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right?
Kanye doesn't hold back one bit in his unwavering stand on this matter. Before he let loose with these comments, he made it crystal clear that he's not shy about calling out any of Hollywood's supposed wrongdoers or high flyers. Kanye's notions are piquing both curiosity and concern as he raises some eyebrow-raising questions about the inner workings of Hollywood and its alleged practices. In a nutshell, Kanye is convinced that Hollywood wields influence over certain individuals who live in fear that their loved ones might be swept up by the industry's mysterious machinations. He even brought up his own mother's passing in 2007, suggesting that she might have been a sacrifice, akin to the late father of Michael Jordan and the departed sons of Bill Cosby and Dr. Dre.
Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
And there's a prevailing notion that Hollywood's parties are the epicenter of these discussions. It's at these gatherings that artists are supposedly lured into making shadowy deals, including the notion of sacrificing their careers. Those who don't acquiesce to these enigmatic propositions may find themselves on the outs, with their careers taking a nosedive. One person shared his views on this, saying, "I can't believe how you casually overlook that many of those women of the night are actually HT victims and brought there against their will. There would be no fun in having willing participants." Another one added, writing, "Everyone knows about these kinds of parties. This video doesn't even scrape the surface. They didn't even get into mock regular blood drinking, the weird rituals, or CT." One more person penned his sentiments as, "Once heard an interview with a man who claimed he sold his soul for riches. He claimed he would get vast amounts of money and was told he had to waste it. He was not allowed to give it away or donate it, and if he didn't waste it or tried to give it away, he was punished." This looks pretty eerie to see how they waste their money, considering some of these folks had humble beginnings. And seems like Hollywood is again all set to follow the long-followed satanic rituals. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.